Cheers and welcome. This is the Sugi strategy, and this is the first episode of RTS Insider, which will be a series that will be going through news, in-depth topics, and game announcements around the card game, strategy, and RTS genre. And on this first episode, we're going to talk about the games that were revealed and showcased at E3. Of course, this is 2016, so a lot of RTS games are not being made anymore. We have transitioned to more of this turn-based strategy games, and that's totally fine. But I do like some good strategy games now and then. I mean RTS. And the first game I really want to talk about first is Dawn of War 3. And this is probably out of the all strategy games in this event that were probably most hyped and people were most excited about. I haven't played the previous Dawn of War games, but if I remember right, they have received quite decent reviews, and I actually own Dawn of War 1 and 2 on Steam, planning to do reviews out of them and play them before Dawn of 3 happens, because I usually want to have a bit of a understanding of what has improved, what has changed on the game, how did they fix this thing, or did they change just a feature, did this and that. And all of those elements are kind of interesting for me, and stay tuned for those reviews. And the Warhammer series has been, or the franchise and the brand has been doing pretty well recently. I mean, you had the games like Vermintide has been doing pretty well. That was a very enjoyable game, and it wasn't even AAA price. It was made by Fat Shark, and I think they did a really great game, really great job with that game. It was really enjoyable and fun. And then of course we had the Total War Warhammer, and I haven't bought that game yet because usually the Total War games have been pretty laggy. I'm not laggy, but very unoptimized and glitchy and crashes all the time. That was with Attila and what was the other one called? Rome 2. And that's why I have waited for a while until they fix this stuff. But talking to some people who own the game, have said really good things about the game. So from that point of view, it seems actually a pretty good title and wasn't that glitch compared to other Total War releases. And so I will be also making some videos about that game once I, get it from sales or something. And so going back to Dawn of War 3, the game looks really nice. You seem to have hero type of characters. I don't know if those existed on Dawn of War 1 and 2. Maybe they were only campaign only. I think the only footage we have seen though is campaign only right now. But it does look very graphically impressive game. And I really think that this game could have a lot of potential even as an esport. It could go into places. It has the potential, has the IP, has many things going on for it, and I think it could be a very successful game as a whole. And it gives me some sort of Warcraft 3 vibe, one of my favorite strategy games. And I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm probably gonna buy it on release. And I will be seeing how that game will turn out to be. And yeah, this is probably the most anticipated strategy games out of the all that got revealed on E3. And, it could be the best as well. And the second game I'm going to talk about, which was another strategy game by a big IP, and this is Halo Wars 2. And this is, of course, going to be released on Microsoft Windows 10 and on Xbox One. And I think there's that dual compatibility thing, so you can play it on two different platforms. You buy it for PC, you can play it on Xbox One too. But I mean, if a game is designed to be on console, how good it can really be. I mean, there's certain limitations that you will have with console versions of the game, like in terms of micro and macro. And, maybe you can make it work. I remember playing Warcraft 2 on PS1. I remember that. I remember that was not very nice. It was not very optimal. Let's just say that. But it was playable. That's what I remember, at least. And this game could be good, but the Halo Wars got really bad reviews, and I don't know why they would try to make such a flop. I mean, it was pretty much a flop. Why would they try this again? Why would Microsoft want to try this again with a thing that really failed on the first try? Can it be good? I mean, Halo, is a decent sci-fi IP, but I'm not particularly interested in that, especially now it's on only because I'm not really interested because it won't be on Steam. I'm kind of nitpicky on that factor a bit. The Microsoft Marketplace is kind of like, because I'm a reviewer, I submit reviews to the Steam reviews and get a lot of like attraction and views from there. But like Ubisoft and Uplay, Origin, and Microsoft's Marketplace don't have the same privilege where you can just post your YouTube videos and stuff like that to their platform and like kind of promote the game. I'm still a small YouTuber. This is a small channel that I have, so I don't have that audience, so I kind of need all that promotion that I can get. And but let's not spiral too much. It looked okay, but I'm not having high hopes for it, to be honest. I think always thought that Halo has been very overhyped game series. I think they have constantly, Bungie just has been like copy pasting the game, just improve the graphics a bit, add 2 new weapons, and new Halo game essentially has been made. I don't think that game has gone significantly any type of like improvements over the time. It relatively has stayed the same. One of the reasons why it was good on its first release, because it was one of those better split screen games that you could really K-op on it, and I think that one of the best of that time. I guess Kena Lynch was also another one that was really good, have a really good K-op. But split screen is kind of dying, sadly, so I think the game is becoming irrelevant more and more. And then we move into the card games, okay? First of all, we have the Elder Scrolls Legends, and knowing Bethesda. I'm really bad at pronouncing that name. I think the game is going to be rather pricey. I think there's going to be a very cash-grabby element. It's going to be really pay to win. If you really look at the Elder Scrolls Online, you had to buy the game. There was a subscription to it, and then there was even a marketplace where you had in-game, like, real money purchases. So you had a cash shop. So 3 ways to make revenue with this online game. And imagine how cash grab-like will be the Elder Scrolls Legends. Now, so, I'm not a big fan of Hearthstone either, because I felt Hearthstone's also very cash grab-like and very pay-to-win too. When it comes to Hex, I think Hex is a bit better because you kind of get started with a deck, and I don't think Elder Scrolls, like it's like marketed play as the characters from Elder Scrolls, but Elder Scrolls characters are not unique. They're not really rememberable characters or something that will be remembered 10 years. You will be remembering Mario and Crash and Sonic from 10 years from now, but you won't be remembering the fucking characters on the Elder Scrolls games. It's not that type of a unique IP and brand, in my opinion. It falls into this make your own RPG, make your own story thing, and in those games, never the characters are very rememberable. So from like a IP standpoint, this is not a game that I would make a card game around on. But then again, because it's Elder Scrolls, it has a fan base. Some people might play it, but it's not really unique or anything other than it. Based on the concepts of the game, it wasn't very like it totally wasn't anything like very significant or impressive, So there was nothing really revolutionary about the title. If you look at like RuneScape Legends or the Gwent, which I'm going to talk about in a second, those games kind of revolutionized or changed a lot of the card gaming elements. They made it kind of interesting that they brought something fresh to it. So let's talk about Gwent, the better of the two card games. And card games for me, I think there was some type of psychological or like, some type of research. When you hit certain age, you will be having harder time to learn things, and your adaptability to changes and stuff will decrease. And I've definitely seen that I've been having a bit hard time to get into certain games that have a bit of a learning curve. I'm less interested to get into more in depth of that. And I had that problem with Hex. I think it had a bit of a higher learning curve compared to Hearthstone. But the thing I like about the Quent is rather simple. It also is rather unique, and also Witcher is a really great IP. It has distinguishable characters and memorable characters, unlike Elder Scrolls. And I really like CD Projekt Red. I think they're ethical companies, so I don't think the game will be extremely pay to win or anything like that. So Quent will be a game that I will be actually making a few videos out of. At least I think so, because I played on Witcher a bit. It's a bit hard in the beginning, but I do definitely think it's a really nice game, and it's a bit refreshing from the normal card games that we see, and that is something that I do enjoy. And I think the Gwent one will be much more successful than the Elder Scrolls. I could even see that the Gwent could be like the second to third most popular card game after Hearthstone, and I think it will be very successful due to the IP. And that's pretty much it for the RTS Insider for this one. E3 has been very enjoyable. I think the games that I'm looking out for is Dawn of War 3 and Gwent. Halo Wars 2 might be something that I maybe consider buying, but knowing Microsoft Marketplace, they never put their games on sales. It's not a game that you could get for $10 at any point of time. So for that reason, I might not even pick it. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more RTS reviews, gameplays, and content around these games, and I will see you next time. Cheers.